All right, guys. Ian from Central Coast Disc Golf. We have the inaugural event of the Disc Golf World Tour, the La Mirada Open. And we are super lucky to be joined by the 2014 Women's World Champion, Katrina Allen. Say hi, Katrina.
Hi, what's up, Ian?
How's it going? So you decided to make your way out to this tournament, and you're the only woman playing, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, and you did your gender proud. But
I think so. Well, yes, I tried.
That's for sure. You beat up a lot of guys, which is really cool to see. But hey, Katrina.
What's up, Ian?
Let's watch some disc golf. All right, guys, we're out at beautiful La Mirada Park and getting a great drone shot right here from Andres Productions. Does some great work. And a beautiful course, wasn't it, Katrina?
Yeah, I haven't seen it from this view. So
Yeah.
Very nice view.
Yeah, have you played
No,
them
really, it really is. Played a lot of golf in California, and this is by far the most beautiful I've seen.
Yeah, it was great up there. So we got a 4-time world champ, Paul McBeth, Andreas Gertsch, the Zurich Open champ, you, Katrina Allen, the women's world champion from 2014 out of Portland, from the Portland World Championships, and KJ Nybo out of Denmark, probably at least the second best European player, I'd say.
Oh yeah.
After Simon, and you're easily top 2 on the women's side. And we're starting off on hole 1, 371 feet, and it's actually played the hardest out of all the holes relative to par. It's got some really tight OB, Katrina.
Yeah, you don't want to hyzer too early. And I was skipping. I saw a lot of real fast skips, about 60 short of the basket. So was playing as a fast green as well.
Yeah, really short grass out there. Get a lot of skips. So like the announcer set up first is Andreas Gertsch. Now lining up for his shot. Did he kiss the disc before every throw?
Oh no, I think it's a European thing. They like breathe on the disc. I think they like the grip.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Pretty good drive right there. I think it's just outside the circle. And you're up next, and you're throwing a mid right here.
Yeah, throwing an M2.
Yeah, you're throwing a mid on a 370-foot hole, which is ridiculous. What's your like your top end distance?
Oh, I don't know. People ask me that, and I think, because I don't know. I think distance shots I'm throwing like 380, 390 maybe.
Oh, okay. So pretty good looking rip right here. You definitely don't want it to fade too far left with that OB on the left-hand side of the gutter, and you're flirting with it, Katrina.
Well, I think I switched. I threw my M4, and then I got really lucky to get the thick grass there.
Kept it fairly in bounds.
Yeah, got very lucky.
And KJ Nybo, and a little bird told me you're learning Danish.
No, I don't know any Danish, actually.
No? Oh, somebody was lying to me then, but I heard you're friends with KJ, though.
Yes, I do. I am good friends with KJ.
Oh, he seems like a really great guy.
He's funny. He's very funny.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Right on. And I believe he's ripping on a rock right here.
Yep.
KC Pro. And plays it safe, got on the middle of the two OBs.
Yeah, it was a good shot.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like Paul is up last. And he's busting out his Champ Rock 3. I think I had to throw a destroyer on this hole to reach it.
Did you go hyzer or up the middle?
I did like a kind of a flex line up the middle.
Okay.
Like a really beat destroyer.
Yeah.
Paul getting the dirt. There's two types of disc golfers: the people that get their hand in the dirt before every throw, and those that don't. And, you end up with some dirty pants.
Yeah, some dirty white shorts.
Yeah. Pretty good looking throw from Paul.
Yeah, work, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely within his range, as you can see right there. And here is your look for bird. Looks like you're about 38 feet, something like that.
Yeah, I think about that's right. 40.
Yeah. Oh, just short. And here's Andreas for his bird outside the circle.
Boom.
Yeah, it's a great way to start your tournament right there. Especially with the OB behind the basket, it's a scary putt.
Yeah, lots of fast greens this weekend.
Yeah. Great putt from KJ, also carding to 2, and Paul is dropping this in all day. What did you think of the disc golf park baskets and tees?
I love the turf tees, and I like the baskets. I think they catch well in the middle. Kind kind of right and left, not so, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I think you need to hit in the middle.
Yeah, kind of rewards good
And
putts.
yeah, just I think maybe the cage or however you'd say it is a little small.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but other than that, I think they're good baskets. They look nice.
Yeah, they do. So we're on to hole 2, which is the easiest hole, according to the round 3 stats. Pretty straightforward. This is actually an easier pin than the normal layout for La Mirada. They moved it up a little bit.
Okay.
Have you played the normal layout?
No, I never. This was my first time to La Mirada. Actually.
Oh, really? Oh.
Mhm.
Right on. Pretty good drive from Andreas right there, and KJ is following suit. Beautiful throw.
Very nice.
Wow. Pretty parts. And Paul going back to the Champ Rock 3. A little bit short, but that'll play. And looks like you're going M4.
Yep.
I saw some people take the hyzer route around the tree. Did you ever try that?
Really?
Yeah.
I did our first round, but it was so windy the first day I got in for practice. There wasn't really another option but to throw the most stable disc in your bags.
Right on.
I figured if that got windy, that would work.
For sure. Missed your birdie putt right there, but Andres makes a nice one. And looking at Paul for his 2. Yep. He's pretty good at that putting thing.
Yep, pretty good.
Yeah.
They all are. I didn't get the memo that we were going to birdie the first 2 holes.
I know, right? I'm not cutting you any slack.
No.
But make your par putt nicely right there. And, you're even. Everybody else is 2 down. Got our fancy scoreboard courtesy of Juan at Overstable Studios.
Yeah, those are nice.
Is that your first time in front of a green screen?
I think so.
Right on.
I don't think I've ever been. Yeah, I think so.
We're on to hole 3, 748 feet. Really low ceiling off the tee, and then you're going uphill quite a bit. You kind of weave through these palm trees, and the basket's over here to the left a little bit. And this one tree you got to miss is pretty catchy. And this is also a little bit easier of a pin than the normal layout. It's a little bit closer to OB. And I'll see a lot of rollers off the tee here.
I think we all went roller, if I remember right.
Yeah, I think so.
We'll see.
Yep. Looks like Andreas gets it. You just want to get out past that tree so you have a clear second shot. KJ going for his Champ Sidewinder. Gets it down on a really nice angle.
Yep.
Avoids the geese, who are razzing everybody.
They are in charge there, just so you know.
They really are. They're bossing everybody around. Paul is throwing his roller Star Destroyer.
Woo, right there. Nice.
Yeah, I was pretty lucky right there. Split those 2 trees and gets out in the open. A little farther right than you want, but it's really not bad once you're past all those trees. And you're throwing a D1. This thing must be pretty beat, Katrina.
It's the first one I ever received from.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, Prodigy. So.
It's kind of cool you haven't lost it.
No, I've tried, but I've gotten in some water for it, for sure.
Awesome. That was a great roller. Andreas's Annie came up a little bit low, kind of cut rolled, didn't get over the berm. And you're going F3 right here, and you're throwing at the OB, but you're trusting your disc to get some turn.
Yeah, maybe I did. I think I threw a driver. I lied to you.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. For some reason, I thought I threw an F3, but...
Was it like a D4 or something like that?
Just another D1 that I've had forever.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep.
Paul throwing his Star Destroyer comes up a little bit short. And KJ is going Champ Firebird right here. Pretty good hyzer line.
Nice.
Yeah, that'll play. Give him a putt.
Felt like it was playing longer than the other 2 days I played for some reason.
Yeah. It's really uphill. It's probably, I think, the longest par 4 that you guys played.
Yeah.
And here is your putt for a bird from, looks about 45, 50. You're
Laid it up.
playing some smart golf. It was really windy on this hole.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I know that. I think I told you F3 because the second day I threw F3, and then the next day I was in the circle on my second shot. So
Oh, wow.
for some reason, the wind must not have been as favorable.
Yeah, it looks like a little bit of a headwind right there. It lifted Paul's putt over the cage. KJ made a nice putt, and here's Paul coming back for a par. Looks like edge of the circle. And there's that side of the chains you're talking about, Katrina.
Yep.
Did not want to stay in there. Just taking a smart par. And getting a stroke on Paul.
Boom. There's one.
Yeah.
That one.
Always nice.
Yeah.
So you're still even. Paul's 1 down. Andreas is 2. And KJ is on a roll, 3 down. He's doing some work.
Yeah, pretty good start.
Yeah, definitely. So we're from an uphill hole, we're going to a downhill hole. And there's Matt House right there. And I really like this hole. It's really challenging, but it's got a really cool shape to it.
No, I do. I wouldn't say it's my favorite hole, but I had a rough second round hole here. But no, definitely a good hole.
Yeah.
Tight green.
Yeah, it really is. You see all that OB. Short left and then long is OB. KJ on the box. Throwing a big Sky Annie with his T-Bird. Oh, that's what happened.
I know I didn't. You can't see that.
No, I was like, where does this go? That would have gone way down the hill. And Andreas also busting on a big Sky Annie.
Yeah, I think the play definitely is to hug that line as tight as you can with as much Annie, and they get down the hill pretty.
Yeah, the farther out you get, the more crowded the fairway gets, I noticed.
Yep.
I believe. Yeah, it looks like you faded out a little bit early, Katrina.
Yep.
Yep. And I believe you said to me that I got an interesting look right here, or something to that effect.
Yeah, it wasn't the best place to be.
Yeah. Paul's throwing a Star Destroyer, but he also fades out early, but finished a little farther left. It's a little more clear over there, but still not the best look. So looking at Andreas trying to weave through these palm trees. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, does so nicely, and he stays in bounds. And here is your look. Not easy. Especially with this really tight green.
No, and I was really stoked for a second.
Yeah, it looked beautiful out of your hand, and you just barely caught that trunk and kicked OB. That wasn't cool.
No.
Look at KJ's second shot. I believe that's a rock. And that's a beautiful shot.
Does a lot.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Very well.
I went 4.
And Paul, I believe that's his P2. Yep. And makes that tight green. A little uphill putt for bird. And this is going to be Andreas' third shot, just laying up for a 4. This is going to be your 4th shot. You just laying up for a 5 here, Katrina?
Yeah, I think I gave it a little, maybe if it gets there going, but yeah just.
Yeah. I like to call that a little half go action.
Yep.
Paul coming back up the hill for his birdie. Nice putt right there. KJ, he's making this all day. Ooh, yep. He flirted with missing it though.
Nice little catch there.
Yeah, he did. And here's Andreas for his par. Nice putt right there. And you're dropping in 5, which a little disappointing after that tree kick. Yeah.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Can't control that kick.
Exactly, yeah. You came back from it really well. So you're our +1, or 2 down. KJ is 4 down. Hasn't missed a hole yet. That hole definitely played over par. We're on to hole 5, one of the easier holes out there. Played under par. Everything to the right of that gutter is OB. Thrown uphill. Most people throwing some kind of Annie and hoping you get some late flex, I believe.
Yep.
It's really kind of a tough green to stick on though. And was there OB long as well, Katrina?
Yeah, I found it the second day.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Looks like KJ's flirting with it.
I think he found it. If
Did
I
he?
remember right.
Oh.
I think so. Yep.
And Paul is going T-Bird. Hangs it a little far left, but it actually kind of worked.
Yeah. Okay.
A little backdoor action at it. And Andreas?
Yeah, I just told myself to turn it so that you don't have the downhill putt. You know?
Okay, yeah.
That way.
You can run it without fear.
Yeah. Without as much atmosphere is airballing down the hill.
How many D1s do you carry, Katrina?
36. No.
What? I was beginning to get that impression. But
I think I have 4.
okay. That was a beautiful drive. You got a CTP, I believe.
Yeah. And another stroke on Paul McBeth.
Yeah. I did that one hole in Champs versus Chumps, but that's about it. KJ misses his putt, but I believe that was for a par save. Here's Andreas for a 2, not so much. Getting a little bit
that's
of
the first putt he's missed.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's coming back for his par. Oh no. Okay, we're taking a bogey. And here's you to get a stroke on the card. Bang, bang. Nice work.
Thanks.
I bet that felt good.
It did. Yeah. And the box. Ooh.
Yeah. Always good. Paul dropping in a par. KJ took a 4 with that OB stroke. Andreas with the 3 putt, taking his 4. And you are taking the box. And we are on to hole 6. And this is a dogleg left. And this second shot is just incredibly hard.
Yeah, I'd say it's one of the harder par 4s for sure.
Yeah, so you make this corner, and this is kind of the landing zone right here where people try to land. And this green, Katrina, is ridiculous fast.
No, I definitely did not sniff a 3 on this hole. I think every time I thought I threw a good shot, I rolled deep or OB or something.
Yeah, it's just incredibly difficult to make it stick there. And you're throwing your A1 off the tee right here?
Yeah, I knew if I threw it as hard as I could, I wouldn't go too far, and it's always going to come back.
Nice, smart golf.
Yeah.
You and Paul really like that one. I take it.
Yeah, the A1.
Mm-hmm.
Very stable.
Paul tried to get down the hill, but caught that tree right there. You can see it finish. KJ's going PD2. KJ has some interesting form, Katrina. Like, he doesn't really follow through very much.
No, but if you watch the disc, he's got good form.
Oh, yeah. No.
No, I'm kidding. But yes, it is very different.
Yeah.
For sure.
Andreas with a great drive right here.
I'd say the best thrower who doesn't follow through, maybe?
Yeah, I would totally agree. And looking at your second shot, see the basket down there on the slope. And are you hoping for a little bit more turn on that, or are you kind of just playing safe?
Yeah, no, I kind of babied it, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
got a little scared at the end, right before I threw of the OB low.
It got a lot of disc, that OB right there.
Yeah.
I thought it was nice how they put that backstop there for the putting rollaways, though.
Yeah. Well, and I saw so many people where we thought they threw a good shot. You get down there and it's upside down or OB.
And KJ with a really interesting look right here, low ceiling, and he throws a skip shot with his rock, which doesn't always happen, but he made it work.
No, that worked well.
Yeah, just outside the circle. Scary putt, though. Pretty much every putt on this hole is scary.
Mm-hmm.
And Paul
on every green.
Yeah, very true. Paul going with his Thunderbird, getting a little turn on that. And he went way long. But a putt he can run, though. Uphill, at least.
Yep.
It looks like Andreas is maybe running that, probably laying up. It's even it's a difficult layup shot.
Yeah, because look how far mine rolls, and I was short of the basket.
Yeah. Yeah, Paul for his birdie. Basket and chain out. Oh, yep. That backboard.
Mm-hmm.
And KJ from just outside the circle.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Yeah. Andreas for... Oh, not so much. Paul to save his par.
Very nice.
Yeah. Great putt.
Oops.
Oh, no.
I guess I didn't remember that.
Oh.
Uh-oh. There's one of my strokes I needed to
Yeah,
catch.
I know, right? Just a momentary lapse of concentration.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know what happened.
We've all been there. It happens.
Yep. Guess I forgot about it.
You phased it out very well, right? Say that,
Yep.
right? Put it out of your mind, which is a good thing to do in disc golf. It helps you get the rest of your round going. KJ's still 3 down, Paul's 2. You're 1 over. Andreas is even. We're on to hole 7, par 4. It's dead straight. And it kind of opens up here. And double Mando off the tee, Katrina?
Yeah, double Mando off the tee with an extra tree in there that's not a Mando, but makes it an even tougher gap to get through.
And then here's the basket on a hill, which you can get some rollaways. I feel like this is the most intimidating tee shot out there. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, one of them.
Yeah.
For sure.
Low ceiling.
There's, low ceiling, OB right.
Yeah, that's right. If you get a nasty kick, you can easily go OB. Paul with a great drive. KJ going with his PD. And you have OB right and OB left. And there's OB right like all the way down the fairway, I believe.
Yeah,
Or maybe it just comes in later again.
Yeah, what is it? The sidewalk and beyond, and then it kind of starts again by the next tee pad?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And that was a beautiful drive, Katrina. And that's pretty much parked for the regular pin, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is where.
And is it played as a double Mando then as well, or?
Yeah, it does. I don't think I've ever birdied this hole. It's a tough one. Ooh, there's some of those kicks you're talking about. And Andreas did make the Mandos at least, so I'll be able to throw. And KJ, I believe he's going to throw down a roller right here, which is a little dangerous. Oh, that's turning over. That's the OB line right there.
Yep.
So he's going to be throwing 4 from there. Looking on Andreas, throwing over the crowd. And hopefully should be able to get up and down from there for a 4. And looking at your second shot and running the pin.
Yeah. I think I didn't put it as flat as I would liked it.
Okay. Looking at Paul's second shot, and I think he did the same thing you did.
Yeah, just hyzers it down the hill.
Yeah, it's a really tough green to stick with a backhand. A right-hand backhand anyway. Andreas. Good looking shot right there. A little bit short as well, though. And it's going to be KJ's 4th shot after an OB stroke. Let to get up and down for a 5. Ooh, he almost floated that in.
Yeah, I thought he made it actually.
Did you?
Yeah, when we were playing.
Yeah, flash right across the chains. Oh, Paul. Missing that putt. Going to be taking a 4. This is Andreas. For his 4, going to be taking a 5. That's a good sit right there. Doesn't happen all the time.
No.
And this is you for a birdie. Oh.
Not so much.
Not so much. A little bit left. It looked like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Putting's hard, it turns out.
Yeah, well, especially when every basket is on the side of a hill.
That
Makes it a
is
little
so
tougher.
true. They did not cut you guys any slack. I think there's like 3 or 4 pins that are flat. It's hyperbole, but it's not far off either.
I think 7 of the 9 on the front 9 are on the side of a hill, if I remember.
Wow. No joke. You're holding steady at +1. Paul -2. KJ taking a bogey. He is back to -2. Andreas also at +1. And it's going to bring us to hole 8. And another tough hole with a basket on the side of the hill, Katrina.
No, they're on the side of the hill. I find that out the hard way, don't I?
Yeah. So there's OB in the trench right, OB long, and OB left of those flags in the white paint. There's the basket right there. An extremely fast green. See what Paul can do throwing his Thunderbird. Looks like that'll play. Getting a little counter skip and roll, and he's parked. And you're going back to one of your D1s.
Yeah, the same one I threw on what was it hole 4?
Mm-hmm.
Still pretty stable, but flies really nice with a little Annie.
Yeah, beautiful drive. Just kind of the perfect spot, actually. Gave yourself an uphill putt. And KJ going PD. This thing must be pretty beat for a PD.
Yeah.
Here the S line in a little bit flippier. And Andreas tossing it out on an Annie. And that's going to be a par most likely. If he can stick the upshot, that is. Which we're looking at right here. So that'll work. KJ for a 2. Little step putt. Chains out. And here are you for a bird. Like 25, 30, something like that.
I think I'm just inside this.
Oh, sit. Oh, sit.
Yeah, I thought I made it out of my hand, but like I said, on those baskets, you get kind of right or left, and they're not as forgiving as most baskets.
That was the most brutal rollout. It was the slowest rollout.
Slow roll, yes, it was.
It looked like it was going to fall over about 5 times. And it's like, nah. I'm just going to
It
keep rolling.
actually looked like it was going to roll over right away, and then instead it gained some speed and then tortured me.
That was really hard to watch. I felt for you on that one. I believe you're taking a 5. That was KJ and Andreas dropping in pars along with Paul taking a birdie. Paul's down to -3, KJ 2 down. You want +3 and Andreas +1. Yeah. Hole 8, you can see it did play a little bit over par. And that is going to take us to hole 9. Par 4. It's pretty, wide open tee shot. The difficulty comes on the second shot, right, Katrina?
Absolutely. Another tight green with OB. What is it? I think. What does it have to be, like 15 or 20 feet?
Yeah.
Short. Yeah.
And long.
And long.
And right.
And to the right. Yeah.
And absolutely.
And then if you put it left, you have a downhill putt at the OB. So.
Yeah, very true. So you see, most people tried to play it off to the left a little bit. It seemed like.
Yeah, a little easier approach.
Mm-hmm. There's Paul's drive. Looks like that'll work. And KJ up next. Also going star destroyer. Also playing it off to the left.
Yeah, he was a bit left, but.
Yeah, almost got Peter.
Yep.
There's buddy Corey right there in the gray shirt. He did all the wrap-up videos for Spin TV.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
There's Andreas piping it right up the middle. Looks like a pretty good spot.
Yep.
And one of your trusty D1s.
Yep. And then what's tricky is a couple rounds it got windy, and that wind kind of comes up over the hill and you can't feel it, so.
Oh, okay.
Very tricky hole.
Yeah, kind of hidden around the corner on that tee box.
Mm-hmm.
So here is the hard part of this hole, the second shot. Really
Which
tough.
he made look very easy.
He sure did, didn't he? I saw some people have a lot of trouble with this hole, though. Paul is going for his P2.
And then you have that pole to play with as well, as if the green's not hard enough.
Exactly. Get right in your mind on that hyzer line, right?
Yeah.
And Andreas going for a little flex shot. And that needs to get down, but I don't think it's going to. No. OB long right there. And looks like you got up a hyzer lined up right here.
Yep. That A1 will just dump for me and sit. So. Well, there it goes.
Perfect shot. I would say people like hyzers are a lot easier to place than a flat shot. Do you find that to be true as well?
Yeah. That's why I thought KJ and Paul's shots were pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm. I always tell people if you're trying to throw a rock and have it land somewhere, would you give it some loft or would you throw it flat?
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Great putt right there. Really nice birdie, Katrina.
Thank you. Yeah, you give the disc time to slow down, I guess.
Oh yeah, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, it kind of stops all the forward momentum.
Yep.
So taking a bird right there along with KJ and Paul. Andreas carding that bogey after an OB stroke. And that is going to bring us to the back side of the course. So normally at La Mirada there's 2 18-hole courses, but they combined them to make this epic 18-hole layout. This is one of the normal holes though on the back side. It's hole 10.
Okay.
And there's the OB is to the right of that gutter, I guess.
Yeah, I was just calling it a ditch. I wasn't really sure what. I think gutter sounds better.
Yeah, we'll go with that. And Paul is throwing his champ monster on a big old spike hyzer line. Well, not quite spike hyzer, but wow. Got a really big rollout off that.
Yep.
And KJ also taking the hyzer line. So going a little bit long, but he can make that putt.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going through D1.
Yep.
And this is no joke of a hyzer. I mean, it's 370 on a hyzer is a pretty good pull. And
Good roll.
that was pretty nice.
Yeah, I forget that I don't have the power they have. I was trying to throw the same line thinking I was going to push too. I think I told Paul that after the round.
Oh, that's funny. Andreas is going the kind of the flex line on a big Annie. Comes up quite a bit short left though. Probably just laying out for par with that OB behind.
A little run.
Yeah. And here you are for birdie outside the circle. Nice work.
I think that was the hole that, was it Dave who was giving me some heckling? About
Philbert was
no.
asking?
Dunapace.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So KJ missed his putt, Paul made his, and here's Andreas for a par save. He's a really good putter.
Yeah, he is. I could have used his putt a couple times there.
And there's KJ dropping in his par, and that's back-to-back birdies, Katrina.
Yeah, I need him.
Yeah, doing work. Paul is 5 down, KJ's 3. It's going to bring us to hole 11, which I don't think had the highest average score, but not a lot of birdies.
No, tough birdie for sure.
Yeah. The traditional line here is just straight up the gut, but you're throwing uphill and you need to flatten out. And then some people were throwing annies and rollers around the outside, which you can do with this. They moved the tee back a little bit, which opened this shot up.
Okay.
And Paul's throwing this big annie with a Star Destroyer, which is a pretty cool shot.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, just outside the circle right there. Are you lining up a roller?
Yes, a roller.
Very cool.
I found it was pretty hard to hit that gap up the middle and then also get to the basket.
Yeah.
I didn't put this one as quite up and down as I wanted to. I wanted it to end more right, but gave me an easy 3.
Cool. Have you gotten closer in practice?
Yeah, I got to 40 feet, 40 short.
Okay,
Got
nice.
3 up there. Yeah,
Very cool.
about right there, I guess you could say.
It's a great shot. KJ coming up just a little bit short. And it looks like Andreas is also going to go up the middle. Left that one a little bit left, though. Stays clean for the most part, but just coming up short. Really a tough hole. 400 feet uphill. There's that pollen that's giving you your allergies problems, Katrina.
Yeah. I know, every time someone hits it, I'm like, oh gosh.
Just laying up for par. How come you're on your knee right there?
I think there's something in my way.
Was there a little low ceiling action?
Yeah. You think I'm short enough, I don't need to do that, but...
Paul for a 2. That's an uncharacteristically bad putt from Paul.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Usually gets a lot closer than that. He doesn't often miss low. I've noticed that as well.
Yeah.
Definitely gives it a chance to go in. KJ making his par. And you're dropping in your par. No shame in a par on this hole. Really
No, not at all.
didn't see hardly any birdies all weekend. And there's Paul with his par. A little par star frame right there. And you're beating Andreas by 1. KJ's 3 down, Paul's still 5. And we're on to hole 12. And another really tough hole. Again, not that many birdies.
Another fast green.
Yeah, exactly. Another fast green on a hill. And it's just really tough to get close to the basket if you're running straight at it.
I think this is probably the best play.
What Paul's throwing right here?
Yeah.
Yep, he's throwing a big forehand hyzer with his Star Destroyer. Do you throw many forehands?
Depends. Some days. I'm feeling it.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Sometimes it feels good. Most days, not so much. You're throwing your H1, and that's like the Prodigy's overstable fairway driver.
Yeah, I was just trying to flex it.
I think it would have worked just a little bit too low, right?
Yeah, no, the second and third round I got down there for looks.
Right.
I just told myself to throw it lower because of that last tree to beat, you know?
Yeah, it really gets in your head.
Hmm?
And KJ went quite a bit long right, and Andreas with a pretty nice play right there. Scary putt, but he's close. And this is not an easy upshot.
No, not at all. I was actually surprised myself.
How close you got?
Yeah.
Nice. KJ with a little step putt, laying up for 3. Andreas just inside the circle for a birdie.
Got it.
Yeah, buddy. Good putt. And you're coming back up the hill for your par. Nice putt right there. And Paul is parked.
Yeah, I think he wasn't very happy with it on the tee, but I was like, yeah, I bet it'll be fine. I think he hit the tree.
Yeah. I remember him being upset too.
Yeah.
And turns out it was pretty good. Taking a par along with KJ, but some nice birdies from Andreas and Paul. You're tied with Andreas right now. Paul is 6 down, starting to get things going.
Yeah.
And we're on to hole 12. Oh, sorry, hole 13, 643 feet. So right of the gutter is OB the entire way, and then this green, Katrina, is
Probably one of the smallest I've ever seen.
yeah, I think deep wise it's like 10, 12 feet, something like that.
Yeah.
Almost incredibly hard to get it to stick on there from if you're going straight at it. And I think Paul wanted a little more turn on that one. Finished a little bit short left. Andreas, looks like that'll play.
Yep.
There's Peter down there filming for us. Kind of gets in the trees. Going to make for a tough second shot. See the basket over there on that tiny island green. And you go in D2.
Yep. I got pretty lucky here because I did hit that tree.
Yeah, I think it definitely kicked you in bounds, right?
Yeah.
You can see that characteristic look on your face, like I got away with something right there.
Yep. Got away with murder there.
And KJ's pull. Uh-oh. He did not get away with murder, I don't think.
No one tried.
Oh, it tried really hard, but stayed out of bounds. So this is a drop zone right here?
Yep. Any OB shot drops up.
Off the tee?
Yep.
Oh, another rough OB stroke right there. He's going to be throwing 5. And Paul, second shot. It looks like he's going to try and attack the green. Which is easier said than done.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
He managed to make it stick right there. And I'm looking at your second shot. It looks like you're also going for it.
Yeah. Figure why not? I mean, if you go past the basket, you're about 10 feet anyway.
That is smart golf. And
Yeah.
it hit the spotter, but I don't know. I don't think it was coming back in, but you never know.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah. But KJ making up for it with a really great fifth shot. I drop in 6. And Andreas playing smart golf right there.
Yeah, I did that one round. That if you're not in the right spot, you don't feel comfortable going for it. You're gonna kind of lose a stroke anyways.
Yeah, exactly. My buddy Peter McBride tooed this hole.
I was with him.
Were you?
Yeah,
Oh,
we
cool.
played together.
Oh, that's
Our
cool.
card, he eagled it, and I think the rest of us, 2 of us birdied it, and then the other person parred it.
Wow, that's probably
Yeah.
the best any card did all weekend.
Yeah. Because
You have a good time playing with Peter?
yeah, our last group was let's see,
You gotta spend.
me, Peter, oh gosh. Anyways, yeah, it was a great group. We had a good time.
Yeah, he's a super nice guy.
Very nice.
Paul getting a great birdie right there, and you managed to save your par after that OB second shot. Like you said, it got close enough for a par putt. Smart golf right there. Better to err on the side of going long than short.
Yep, for sure.
So we're on to hole 14, 574 foot. I think the drone pilot got lost. But it's a dog leg, left. You got to go straight and then hook way left. And Paul's throwing a Star Destroyer, hoping to skip around the corner. I've seen him throw cut rollers here before, which I think is a solid play.
Yeah.
See the basket over there. It's a flat green, Katrina, but it seems like a really tough one to get close. You know?
Yeah, no, that's why I think some people do try to throw the cut roller.
Yeah.
That's what I was kind of trying to do here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's got a really low ceiling, and then it's like pine straw, so anything that's flat will just slide.
Yep.
Oh, you almost hit it perfect. You caught that late tree. That would have put you in the perfect spot if it missed it.
Yeah, and the thing with the roller is all those pine cones, too. You never know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. KJ kind of saw this one off a little bit, but still left himself in a pretty good spot. See the basket over there. And looking at your second shot, and this doesn't look easy.
No, it was kind of scary, not going to lie. The
Yeah.
tree right there.
Yeah, I was worried about your hand. And Andreas running the bucket.
Very nice.
Yeah. And that's a really nice park job, considering that green. And Paul going Pro Rock 3 on a little tight flex line.
Yeah, because it looks good to me from where we were, and I didn't realize he had got it deep.
Yeah, it just slides once it gets up there. And KJ, come a little short left, should make a putt. I'm looking at your third shot, I believe. Throwing your A1.
See, I thought that was going to be as well.
I did too.
Faster, yeah.
Yeah, it went so, especially for an A1, it really got some long action on the skips right there. Oh, Paul.
Wanted that one.
Nice RV spotting right there.
I did see that.
And KJ makes a nice putt for a birdie. And this is you for a par save, I believe.
Oh, no.
Oh, gotta want it, Katrina.
There's the RV again. What the heck?
I think he was razzing the camera. I think so.
I think so, too.
There's a Paul dropping in a par after a nice birdie from Andreas. And you're dropping in a 5. No shame in that one. Paul is 7 down. Getting pretty hot. And we're on to hole 15. Another roller hole off the tee, Katrina?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I was actually talking to somebody, and I'm like, I don't know what the other shot is.
I've seen people
Low
throw...
ceiling.
Yeah, low ceiling, like air shot. But you gotta crush it to get anywhere close. You can see it just weaving through the trees, and the basket's way up here on your right.
Because you want to get, what, almost 400 feet to have a look?
Yeah, you
So
gotta get over that hill, right?
I don't throw 400 feet low ceiling uphill.
Yeah, me either. Great drive from Andreas. Got almost up the hill. Should give him an interesting look for a second shot. There's usually quite a few trees in between you and the bucket after your first. KJ also has a great roller game. I wonder if the disc has ever slipped out of his hands when he does a little wiggle. That one's finished a little left, but I don't think it's actually that bad over there. I think it might be
No,
more.
left is fine, actually. Yeah. Get a few more options over there.
Mm-hmm. And Paul busting on his roller destroyer. And I don't think he wanted that jump right there.
No, I'm not.
He kind of flipped him over a little early. You going with your roller D1?
Yeah. A little trusty there.
Yeah. This is a great
She's gonna
shot.
flip.
Yeah. You get up mostly up the hill, you're happy. Or I would be
Yeah.
anyway. And looking at Andreas' second shot. I think that finished a little short left. Looking at your second shot. Not an easy look. Did you miss your gap?
Yeah, I pulled it. I
Okay.
do that uphill sometimes, and I couldn't tell you why. I need to work on that, I guess.
Yeah, must be something to it though, you know?
One time Elaine King said had something to do with the hill. I don't know.
I bet it does.
Well,
Golf, regular golf, it definitely affects where your disc goes, or your ball goes.
Yeah.
And Paul getting a pretty nasty roll right there. Sure, a pretty good forehand with his monster. And KJ's second shot. He really left himself a good look right there.
Yeah, that was a really good spot and a great shot.
Wow. I think that might be the play.
Mm-hmm.
All the way out left. Looking at your third shot. Just laying it for a 4. And
Yep.
Andreas for his 3.
Ooh.
Wow. He scared it. And Paul from about 45, 50. A little bit of a headwind. That was a good putt.
That'll work. Go with bonus.
Yep. And you are dropping in a par?
Yep, par.
Yep. No shame in a par on that hole. You know,
Nope.
it plays over par. As you can see, Paul is 8 down now. KJ, after a hot start, is 3 down. Andreas even, you are +2. And we're on to hole 16. And I guess this is probably the second most intimidating tee shot for me. This gap is so tiny, and you got OB left if you get too high over the fence. It's a tough one.
Very tricky.
Yeah.
And with the low ceiling and the wind coming over, if you try to put a little hyzer, it likes to lift it. So, yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I saw some
Weird.
people go over the fence, which I didn't think would happen, but like you're saying with that wind.
Yeah.
Apparently it didn't bother KJ, though.
No.
No.
2 feet. Good.
Yeah. Incredible drive. And Paul is going Thunderbird. It's tracking beautifully.
Well,
Almost thought that was going to smash chains from the tee. But it goes a little bit long left. Going to be left with an interesting putt. And Andreas laces it up the middle.
pretty good.
Yeah. Fading out just a little bit early. But easy par if he doesn't want to run it. And looking at you, going with one of your D1s.
Yeah.
That headwind gave you a little more turn than you wanted?
Yeah, I think so. I think I pulled it a little to the right too.
Yeah, we can
Trying
blame
to
it.
kind of hug the fence with a little turn.
Okay. And coming up a little bit short on your upshot, it looked like.
Yeah.
And on
Did that A1 again, and then it was deeper than I thought on the other hole, so.
I gotcha. And here you are to save a par.
Almost.
Yep, just a little bit short. That was a long putt too. It was about 40 feet. And speaking of 40 footers, here's Paul for a birdie.
Through the tree or no?
I think it went over a branch on the backside. Yeah,
Okay.
pretty nice putt.
Oh.
Oh, Andreas. Oh no. Shades of 8 for
Those
you
are the
right here.
worst. Try again.
Yep. Reminds me of skee ball. The disc comes right back to you if you don't get it in the hole. Oh, he almost made a nice save right there. There you are, tapping in a 4. KJ with a drop-in birdie.
Very nice.
Yeah, great drive. And Andreas, what's this going to be for a 4 or a 5? Oh, yeah, 5. Unfortunate right there. He's got you by a stroke. Paul is now 9 down. KJ also doing a little bit of a roll here. It's 4 down. And we're on to hole 17. And what'd you think about hole 17, Katrina?
I thought it was great. My only complaint was that there really isn't anywhere to lay up to make the green easier.
Uh-huh.
So, not that it's that hard of a second shot, but that could be my only complaint. Other than that, I love a good 2-shot hole.
Yeah.
For
Yep.
sure.
It played really cool. So there's OB, like a little peninsula right here, which you need to land on. And then you're throwing onto an island green that's pretty much like the putting circle, right?
Yeah, I wish I knew. I think I had looked at one point, but one side's a little outside, and then the other side's pretty close, like 20 feet.
Okay, yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Paul threw a forehand, which kind of plays to the shape of the fairway, or the slant of the fairway anyway. And you're throwing a putter off the tee.
Yeah, I think so.
And
Yep.
pretty perfect drive. You might be a little farther left, I want to say.
Yeah, the closer to that tree on the left you can be, the easier. Makes the next shot easier, makes the green look a little bigger.
Yeah. But distance-wise, pretty perfect. And looking Andreas' second shot. And if you don't make the green, you're throwing from a drop zone, which is a little bit short left of the green there. And looking at KJ's second shot. I think second day, the top 2 cards all missed the green.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think the conditions were awesome, but it's a tough second shot.
Yeah.
And see,
Ooh.
wow. I guess when you're world champ, you can tell your disc where to go.
I guess so.
Yeah. And you fighting through that tree. And what a shot, Katrina.
Oh,
Yeah. It's kind of a funny hole. You see a lot of birdies and a lot of bogeys, but not a ton of pars.
Ours, yeah.
Because if you make the island, you'll probably get a birdie.
Yep. Well, yeah, because there's no more. You can't just have stroke and distance. Is that correct? That's
Yeah.
the new PG.
Yeah,
rule? Okay.
exactly. So those are 2 throws from the drop zone from Andreas and KJ, and here's Paul from outside the circle for a birdie.
Got it.
He's on a roll. Has quite a few birdies in a row. Andreas cleaning up his 5, and here you are for a really nice 3. And there is TD Jeff Spoor, runs West Coast Disc Golf. Really great guy.
I think he's talking about how lucky I got.
No, he's talking about how awesome you are. What are you talking about?
Kidding. Can't believe that went in. No.
I got all kinds of basket and chains, and it eventually went in. So like I said, a couple birdies, couple bogeys, and that is going to bring us to our last hole, hole 18. Pretty tough tee shot for a backhand hyzer line, and then if you're right of that gutter, it is OB. Tough throw. And then I think there's also OB long as well. And
Yeah, I think that slide that you see.
Yeah. Just short of there is OB. Paul's going PDX and pretty much parks it. And you're going D2. Is your D2 kind of in between some of your D1s at this point? Or
yeah, I just did it. It's that, and with that low ceiling, gets the quicker, I guess.
okay. And looking at KJ. Pretty good looking drive right there. If I can talk. And looks like that was his champ Firebird again. And Andreas. I saw Ricky throwing backhand rollers on this hole.
Yes. Very untraditional, I guess? I don't know.
Yeah, unconventional. It worked for him. Most rounds, anyway. Here's Andreas for a 2. Continues with his nice putting.
Oh, you missed our rock, paper, scissors.
Oh, no, I missed the first one. I got the second one, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Katrina and Paul did rock, paper, scissors for who had to putt first. And I think you guys tied like 3 times in a row.
Yeah, we did tie 3 times in a row.
Yeah. And there's KJ. Yeah.
That was messed
Oh,
up.
I
That
never
was 3
saw
times
the
in a row,
flex.
man.
Wow.
That's Paul right there. But nice way to finish there with a star frame. And you finished your round at 1 over. And really impressive golf, Katrina. Yeah. Well, cool, guys. That is all we got for the Disc Golf World Tour Lumberod Open Round 1. We got one more Round 1 video, Round 2 video, and 2 Round 3 videos, which will be out eventually. Editing takes time. But huge thank you to you, Katrina, for joining me. It was a great time.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. But cool, guys. Well, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you around.